Hey, this is Issa Nakazawa, your host for Transmission Studio, the show featuring the independent artists and community-based organizations that make San Francisco's arts and culture scene what it is today. And today I'm super excited to be in conversation with Chine Emeahara, who is the marketing and events coordinator over at SOMA West CBD. So keep it locked. Chine, it's so good to have you here in Transmission Studio.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Been looking forward to seeing you guys' space, coming on the show, talking a little bit about just a bit about everything, I guess.
Yeah. Actually, let's start there
Okay.
because I feel like we've had so many good conversations about being artists and producers, and you have so many different roles and hats that you wear. So I want to just start with you, like, kind of introducing yourself and giving a little background and all the things that you do.
Okay. Well, I guess starting off was always music to begin with. Making music, writing songs, recording them, obviously, and then putting them out there and then performing as well. That was like, I would say I graduated high school and then like fed into that kind of realm of stuff. And then after, I guess this was like some time passed, I just bought a shit ton of clothes and I was like, I want to just do my own fashion shows because I'm not a designer. I can't design clothes for shit.
Okay, got it.
I can style someone down to the freaking underwear and socks they wear.
So details.
Yeah, very intricate details and dimensions and silhouettes, all that stuff. But I was like, okay, let me like basically buy a bunch of clothes, style a bunch of models, but wait, there's a bunch of other designers that like do their thing in the Bay Area. Let me try to like do something with that. So that's kind of how I got into like the event producing side, because no one was like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. I was just like, let me do it because I kind of want to,
Right.
And then see how that goes. And it got to a point where there's like DIY fashion shows popping up all over the place. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Well, that's interesting. So, somewhat low key dropped out of school. Then I went to go finish. I went to finish my school.
Yeah,
I finished.
Wait, dropped out of which school? Just like bring us into a timeline.
High school,
Oh,
college.
Okay.
College. And it was like halfway due to the pandemic, but it was like, oh, you could take your classes online, and I was like, okay, let me take like one class, and then it was like not even really a class. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like, there's a time period like peak pandemic time. I was just not in school because I was doing other stuff like fashion, music at the same time, and then fast forward, I finished school, moved back to the Bay Area, and then that's how I kind of just came into SOMA West, where actually I was doing my own, like, I tried to start my own marketing agency.
Oh, wow.
For like small businesses. And like it was going great for like maybe like 2 months. And then one by one, the accounts were like, oh, actually, we're going to do this. Oh, actually, we're going to do that. Oh, you know, if there's one thing in the past year that I've learned was like how to collaborate with people better, because when I was originally doing my first fashion shows, it was like, hey, it's either my way or get the f out, and like I don't care because you know, this is a private project at this point. I'm funding it, I'm doing all the things. Like my return is like $50 off of like $3,000,
right?
So it's like, what, I'm not doing this for the money. So if you want to work with me, great, but you're gonna more or less do what I say.
Right.
And so that's when I was like, oh, I want to join a band because I want to know what it's like to collaborate with other creatives. And then that's how I kind of ended up here, where I'm like, oh, great, I could learn how to collaborate with others, because sometimes it's hard.
It is really hard. It's actually refreshing to hear that journey, because I feel like I'd only known you for a few weeks, but when I saw you in action at SOMA nights, it felt like you're the type of person who's like a true producer, meaning a relationship builder and connector. And I feel like
Yeah.
that talent and role is so much around translation, knowing how every person, like knowing how to gel a lot of potentially disparate people and communities together under
Yeah.
one vision.
Yeah, and a part of it sometimes is like knowing when someone's difficult as hell to
Yes.
work with, and I'm just like, hey, so can you do it or not? It's just
What
like,
have you learned for real about how to work with difficult people?
give them grace, give them time. Um, know that your end result might not be theirs, and finding a common ground is important.
Yes.
That's like the number one thing, because especially like when someone's like extremely difficult, and this could be like any, like uh it could be a resident, it could be an artist, it can be a talent. um you always gotta like make sure you're showing your good side, you
Yeah.
know, and make sure you have your ducks in order.
Yeah.
That way it makes it easier for them. You ever see like Inception?
Mm-hmm.
There's like super like, you can go super political with it, which is like implant an idea in their head,
Yeah.
and kind of foster
Cultivate
that as if they thought of it, and you're just like,
Mastermind.
yeah, you're like, that's what I was hoping for. Yeah, I was hoping you'd say that. Yeah, that's the result we
amazing.
wanted, and then just kind of going from there. Other times you just have to give it. You just have to give them what they want. And in
Yeah.
order, if it's big picture, give them what they want. If it's
Yeah.
detrimental, like lay down the boundary. So boundaries are important.
Yes. Ugh.
Boundaries are super important.
Boundaries are really important. Just kind of revisiting what you started, the context you laid. Were there early like family inspirations, or like what in your early environment was making you kind of like excited or inspired or supported and encouraged to like be a musician, or to even it sounds like one of the through lines is self-expression.
Yeah. I would say it's definitely my sister.
Oh.
So both my parents are like scientists. Yeah, like everyone in my family has like their master's degree.
Okay.
Which I'm assuming they expect me to get one, and I'm like, probably not
Yeah.
anytime soon. They're all science educated, like super, logical, straightforward thinkers, which
Yeah.
is like, I kind of fit into that category. However, my sister was like, oh, I'm gonna break away and kind of do my own thing. And since she was my older sister, I kind of just followed her with whatever she did. So, like,
Yeah.
when she did dance, I was like, oh, I'll do dance as well. Oh, pick up guitar. I was like, oh, I kind of want to learn guitar myself. Or, clarinet, like singing, whatever it
wow.
was. And it was always like she would go from like one medium to the next, just kind of finding out what it is. Now she's like a theater, she has many years of experience in like theater, which I probably wouldn't get into just because that's like a whole other realm.
Yeah, it's very specific.
Yeah, like you have to really, really like that. Like not even acting, like you have to like literally, embody things, and like she's really good at that.
Yeah.
Like when you're a kid, she would know how to like fake cry
Exactly.
like really well, to the point where it's
That's
like, oh
dangerous.
my God. Yeah, it is dangerous because it's like you're almost dealing with like a socio-psychopath,
Yeah,
at the same time.
If
Yeah,
you're watching,
yeah,
got our eyes on you.
Like you're almost dealing with someone that's like borderline, like, like interesting.
But they're also super fluent in the nuances of human behavior.
Oh yeah. Well, funny thing enough, right now is she's like a whole therapist now.
See, they go
it's like, yeah. So I thought that was interesting how like, she like studies people now, and it's like, oh, okay, that kind of totally makes sense.
Yeah,
because
they go hand in hand.
Been and done like so many different things now that like you can. So I would say she was a pretty big inspiration when it came to that. Everyone, I would say, in my family has like some type of musical ability, I would say.
Cool.
Like my mom was like singing in choir, and my dad record collection of like, just good music, so aunties, uncles, all of them like, some type of rhythm, song, dance kind of thing.
It's in your DNA.
I would say so. Yes, I would say so.
And are you multi-gen Bay Area?
No, actually. My dad was from Nigeria. And my mom was born in Saginaw, which is like next to like Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so They met and came here, and they lived in Baltimore where they had my sister, and then they moved to California and then had me.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, I'm like the first true through and through like Californian.
I
in the
feel like we
family.
share that in common where like we both are very community informed and like motivated, but we bring probably a different or like a unique lens on the work because we're not generations deep in the Bay.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little? Because I know you said something really interesting in your bio around being identified as a leader, but not necessarily seeing yourself as that, which I thought was really interesting. Like,
Yeah. I've definitely been placed in, me and my housemate, we have this thing like, or I don't know if you've ever saw like the movie Spy Kids, the game,
I know
it's
what you're
like
talking about.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. There's like a scene or there's a constant theme throughout the story of being the guy.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, who's the guy? No, are you the guy? Who's the guy? I'm the guy. I was like, oh, the guy. Sometimes like when you embody the persona of the guy, people will constantly like look to you to be like, especially in like, let's say like break it down to like social situations. Popular question is, what's the move?
Yeah.
Right, as a person like who maybe seen some things, done some things, people are just gonna look to you automatically and be like, oh, what's the move? Yeah, what's the move? You know, there's been times I go out with friends and I'm like, hey, like they're like, oh, let's go out, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, can one of you
can you
find something to do? Can you one of you quarterback our outing, because I don't want it to fall onto me and then either one, like it's gonna be a good time just for me and not for you guys.
Right.
But like, can one of you coordinate with me or just do it all yourself? Like, find something for us to do
and propose it,
and follow through. You know, like that's in like a friend social setting. Like in the neighborhood setting, it goes as far as like, oh well, what's to do with this? Like, what? How are we gonna do this? It could be something as simple as like setting up a meeting or something.
Yeah.
Or even delegating responsibilities to people. It's like, I don't really want to do that necessarily, but I will do it because no one else seems to either want to or just be like,
and it needs to get done.
Yeah, and it needs to get done. That's the most important thing. If it needs to get done, it needs to get done. But in a social setting, like called the guy, is like not something that I see myself as, but being delegated, like, oh, I know someone great to hit up for this, that, and the third.
Right.
Let me call them up. Or, hey, what are we doing tonight? And it's like,
it is interesting though, the skills that we do have that other people see in us that aren't necessarily like identifiers. Like we don't identify as them, but it's clear through, it's reinforced in your social situations at work that like maybe this is something that you're good at in terms of, I mean, I just saw you do it. It's like producing is holding a lot of complexity and holding a lot of things quickly and problem solving constantly.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. That thing was holy shit. I can't tell you, like there was like a cascade of like,
I was peeping,
and I was just like,
wait, for listeners who don't know, can you just tell us like what is SOMA Nights?
Oh yeah,
a little context of what SOMA West CBD is.
Yes, for sure. Because that was an issue at first when I first joined the organization. So SOMA West CBD is a nonprofit organization that is funded off of property tax. So there's an assessment of the basically a area of building owners, you know, people, whatever. And the idea is that, hey, the city sucks. Right. We need basic city services to keep this going. A lot of organizations that are like sister organizations to us or like the same in the same industry do more of the things that I do, which is event planning and like neighborhood, you know, gatherings.
Yeah.
But we're so big that our primary bread and butter is like cleaning and maintenance. I have no experience in any of that.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, I can't do that, but I could do all these other things, which the organization should / needs to be doing as well.
Yeah, they complement.
Yeah.
Sure.
So then I got brought on, and that's kind of like where anything public facing is kind of like what I handle or do.
Okay.
So like for instance, on the operations side, it could be like you wake up and you see like a huge shizer just on your doorstep. You're
Okay.
just like, hey, let me call these people. You could either call 311, which is the city,
Okay.
and they have 72 hours to respond, whereas our organization has 24 hours to respond. So that time difference alone, if you live in this neighborhood, you pay the property tax, like they will come and clean either graffiti, outreach for unhoused individuals, even as far as neighborhood greening, like, oh, we'd love some planters here.
Oh, wow.
Okay, cool. Let's work something out with the local CBD. It's like, I think the way I like to see it is serves as a buffer between the actual residents and city government.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
That's a good breakdown.
Yeah, that's how I see it, and that's what I tell people, like, too, because a lot of people don't know exactly.
Yeah, I've
what
never
it
fully
is.
known.
No, it doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. And when I say, "Oh, it's a CBD," they're like, "Oh, marijuana," and I'm
That's
like, "No,
right.
no, yeah." I'm like, "No, no." It
I'm like,
stands
it's
for
a
community,
local dispensary.
community benefit district. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
we benefit the community. It could also be like a business improvement district. It could also be a different thing, which is kind of the scope of where I'm taking things in terms of SOMA nights,
Yeah.
which was starting off and still is an economic recovery program
Got
for
it.
businesses on Folsom Street, especially the ones that are being impacted by DPW SFMTA's tearing up of Folsom Street, which is the Folsom Streetscape project. Like freaking, I don't know how many years ago, like a long time ago, people were like, oh, we want new streets on Folsom, and we want to add a bike lane and more street lights. And that was like a very long time ago.
Okay.
So to the point where some of the people who, like, the businesses that voted yes on it,
Yeah.
aren't even in business anymore. So now they're starting this project.
That's a good qualifier for like it's been some time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I mean, but as you know, businesses come and go in the
That's
city.
true, that's true.
But still, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot that we were even gonna do that. So as it stands, a lot of the businesses were losing up to like 50% of revenue.
Wow.
So pretty much in danger of closing for good. And our project wasn't to start a night market per se, was to activate the businesses and keep life flowing.
That makes
Because
sense.
SFMTA, they dropped a bunch of money into a marketing thing, which was like Meet the Faces of Folsom, or
Okay.
Flavors of Folsom, and it went on bus
Oh,
ads,
okay. It was like a campaign.
Yeah. So I was on some Carrie Bradshaw shit when I was like, oh, cool, let me get on a bus, right? Let me get on a bus, and like, yeah, all good. But as we probably all know, SFMT are not like marketing professionals or geniuses. It was just seemed very lackluster to some of the business owners. And it was like, okay, how can we actually activate these streets and bring people back and show people that there is life here, there is something to do? And that's how SOMA Nights was born.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so SOMA Nights was born out of a coalition between the SOMA West CBD and the businesses themselves.
Right.
And that's when I just kind of was like in the middle of them, being that I am familiar with a lot of the business owners. I don't own a business myself. I just live in the neighborhood.
Right.
And I work with the organization. So I was like, okay.
Oh, you live here too?
Yeah. I live.
Oh, nice.
I live and work in this neighborhood. Yeah. So that became like, okay, what are we gonna do? And then the idea of just a night market, getting funding for that came through, and then that's when we started. These things take like maybe 6 months to a year to plan out. We were up and running in 6 weeks.
I know, it was really cool to see.
So it was like, oh snap, like,
I'm impressed.
that was actually our 3rd edition so far. and
Which
that
is
was like,
so new.
yeah, which is like very
Nothing.
new,
Yeah.
nothing at all. Actually, sorry, yeah, technically that was our third edition because we
Yeah.
started in March 27th was our hard launch.
Yeah.
So that leaves April 24th, and then what, June or
May.
May 22nd.
Yeah.
So it's like, boom, there's only been 3 so far. And so far, we're seeing across the sample size 64.8% revenue increase on those days,
Oh, cool.
compared to the other days.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like my next goal is trying to figure out, okay, how do we keep, the businesses here? And like, or how do we keep people coming back?
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't run each individual business.
Yeah.
However, I can, offer suggestions on what was going on and also help with some of their programming as well.
I think what I loved about it and why I think it works is also because you're like, I don't like when people are saying like you're adding value, but you're creating an experience. And I think
Yeah.
sometimes the marketing approach gets so dry and it's like people like the residents also need to feel like there's something happening that's tangible. And
Yeah.
I think sometimes like marketing work you can start feeling really meta descriptive
Hmm.
where you're almost like you turn into a salesperson.
Yeah.
And I think you were really creating an experience where there was like amazing music and bands that like are really, really excellent. And there was good
Yeah.
vendors and there was like good vibes. And I
Hmm.
feel like that is more sometimes what we all crave
Hmm.
is like connection and an experience. And then the outcome of that is we want to buy
Yeah, and or come back too.
or come back.
So I think like it's all part of, creating that experience, and it's like being like, oh, I never knew that this, that, and the third was around here. I never knew that, oh, there's a cafe here next to like a bear cafe.
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah,
And I work
exactly.
right here.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing we're going for is like, hey, like, yeah, our organization is vehicling this. However, it really is the businesses on Folsom that are like deserve the spotlight because
Yeah.
one, they've been there for so long. This neighborhood itself has over like 24 legacy businesses, meaning like businesses that have been in business operating in San Francisco for 30 plus years.
Wow.
That's
That
a
makes
long
sense.
time.
That
Yeah,
makes
that's a
sense.
very long time. So it's like when you have such, great businesses and like just such businesses that have added so much value, as you said,
Yes.
to the local community, just been there for a long time and kind of like have roots there,
Yeah.
you don't want to see those go.
No.
Yeah, because I think is like if the businesses go, then our organization doesn't really, to me, it doesn't serve as big of a purpose
Of
because it's like
course.
then we're just catering to the local resident, which the city should be doing.
When we first met, you said something I thought was interesting that we talk a little bit on this show to guess around like being perceived as like a gentrification buffer
Oh
or like
yeah.
not buffer, like a kind of um almost like an accelerator.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering, yeah, how you kind of combat that. Because I feel like that is tricky in terms of like,
Yeah.
yes, we want to support legacy businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Change is also inevitable, especially in cities.
Yeah.
And then organizations like SOMA West, it's easy to be like misconstrued your intentions. So like,
Yeah.
how do you kind of combat that and navigate those assumptions?
Well, a part of it is that the money that we have gotten to do the night market, a big portion of that goes directly into the businesses
Oh,
via
wow.
stipends. So business owners are entrepreneurs. Small business owners are entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
The stipend itself is modest, but it's like,
But
okay,
still.
if I give you $100, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you should be able to turn that into $1,000,
Yeah.
no problem,
Yeah.
and like that's just an example. And so I think that's kind of like one of our things is one, a big portion of the money goes directly back into the businesses. Two, the artists and vendors that come through and like vend whatever they do, there's no fees for them. So I know a lot of night markets charge fees upwards of
Yeah.
like $350 to sell your products.
Oof.
We just keep it so where it's like you want to come, cool,
Come.
show up, which is kind of tricky in a sense too because it's like there's no like guarantee that you're gonna be in like a prime location. This is just if you have the time and
Come
you
through.
want your business to potentially get some sales, get some eyes on them, come through, and it's all good. There is
Yeah.
a cap limit to how much we can, host, but just come through. a next thing I did on top of that was a Meet the Faces campaign.
Yeah, I
So
saw
it's
that.
like, okay, let me go around to the businesses,
Yeah.
share, their story and what they like and what they're doing for the particular night market, because we want to also show who is being impacted by this, and like why we're doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, our mission statement kind of hovered around those things
I
of
love
in terms
that.
of like, look, it's not really gentrification, because if the businesses leave, then it's
Yeah.
gonna look like Tent City.
Right.
If you want Tent City,
Yeah. Then
then
we can
go
talk about
yeah,
that.
we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
talk about that,
Yeah.
but if you don't want it to be Tent City,
Yeah.
support local, so that's kind of a big part of how we were able to not even combat the narrative, but just tell our story or
Yeah.
our side of
Yeah,
it,
kind of like reclaim the story.
yeah, because it's like, okay, like
This is what it
who
is.
else is, what are you gonna how are you going to save these businesses, how are you going to boost neighborhood morale, especially on Folsom Street. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where we're at with it.
Yeah, and that's like my passion for this show too, is like also just seeing people who are really engaged, because
Hmm.
I feel like the complexity's there, but like when we all actually sink into the work itself, that's when we can find the solution.
Okay.
But like sitting around and talking about it, it's like, well, how is that? Like everyone can have an opinion, but like people like you who
Hmm.
are actually doing the work, that's where the real solutions emerge.
Yeah, you get opinions all day,
Yeah, people
literally
people
all
have
day.
opinions, but it's like
Yeah.
that's not going to help right now. Like in San Francisco, we really need people to be like what you're
Actually doing
doing.
something, right?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
refine it and build relationships.
I mean, it's so funny because it's like once you start something and like start getting the ball rolling, then
Yeah.
the people with opinions are like, "Oh wait, put this right up front," and it's like,
You got to
kind of
go do
weren't
something.
there. Yeah, you kind of weren't there. And unfortunately, the ball has been rolling now to where that idea might not even work as well as the ball has been rolled. The cards are dealt. We're just working with that. So,
But that goes back to your earlier point about like as an artist, kind of part of the process of like ripening is learning boundaries and learning
yeah.
like
Oh, for sure.
what is the space of negotiation and what is the space of like this is the container I'm holding as the
Yeah.
producer.
Oh, for sure. And there's been times like even like I have to recall and like recheck myself and be like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm representing another organization.
Yes.
Let me not cuss this person out.
Let me
Let me, because
reel it in.
I've definitely lost like straight up friends during my fashion show days
Yeah.
because they'd be like, hey, Chinny, can you like calm down? And I'm like, dude, there's people that paid upwards of like 50 to $100 to get in here,
Yeah.
and you can't get your fashion house in order. Get
Yeah.
the hell up out
Oh
of
my
here.
God.
And now you're telling me, yeah.
We need to do a Chinny spin-off show. I'm feeling
Now you're
it.
telling me to like chill out. You need to freaking leave.
Go do something.
Like, yeah, it was just, oh my gosh, so much stuff, and it's like so many moving parts you're doing. So
Well, I'm super proud of you, and I'm so excited to keep supporting SOMA
thank you.
Nights.
Your support means a lot, especially
Yeah.
with what you guys are doing here.
Yeah.
I feel like this is like the epicenter of something like really like Genesis level, like
Oh, thank you.
transcending.
Yeah, before we go, can you just plug like the next SOMA Nights or anything else you want us to stay
Oh
connected
yeah,
to?
sure. Every fourth Thursday is our Soma Nights. Also, so every fourth Thursday, Soma Nights. Every third Thursday, we do a happy hour, which is our organization just goes into one of the bars,
Oh,
open bar, come through, anyone's invited. And then every second Wednesday of the month, we're kicking back off our Soma Sings open mic series. So for musicians, poetry readers, comedians, you can come through and just do your thing. That's at Question Mark Bar. Our happy hour rotates, and our Soma Nights happens on between 7th and 8th Street as of now.
Thank you so much, Chinny. We'll definitely
Thank
be
you.
there.
Thank
Yeah,
you. I
thank
hope to see you.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
And thank you all for listening to Transmission Studio, and stay tuned for the next episode.